Oh, welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Plate Sack Chat. I can see there are even people that I'm actually speaking to for a change as we come in, maybe because we're slightly late. Who knows? As always, I'm Jason, joined by Sam LaRoche. Sam, how are you?
I'm perfect. Perfect. My voice is back, which is good.
That was, you anticipated my follow-up question, which of course was going to be, and I'm assuming that you're.
That's because I'm the real media.
Oh,
I asked the unbiased good questions.
That's good of you. Somebody should really run with that. They should make that their thing. I think that'd be good.
Yeah. Or maybe we'll shout out someone who does that later. But what we got for today, Jace?
Well, as you well know, and I know you know this because I've seen you reposted in people's stories. This weekend gone, we had the start of the British Teens and Masters Championships. The online qualifiers kicked off. Finals will be in Southampton, but we're starting to see, who will be there in Southampton because people have been posting up scores, killing themselves in some pretty horrific.
Some of them, in fact, none of them are nice. Like I've watched all three go down on multiple occasions, and they're disgusting. There's one they've called it seasick, and the boys got off the rower and were very close to vomiting. It was great.
Well, Emma Dean loves the rower. That's one thing I do know about. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. I think actually probably from when she started coaching at Bath, that was sort of one of the biggest changes for me was rowing initially, because she would always have some feedback mid-wad on your rowing, and it helped. And I'm a short, light, small guy. Like any tip I can get for the rower, I'm going to appreciate.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, I was just looking away there. My wife is just taking out the Tesco delivery. You can probably hear it in the background. And the dog's going crazy outside, and the Tesco guy is standing. It's all gone to pot. A rower right now would be the perfect thing for me. Yeah. Just pull it, make it all the world go away. But yeah, to be fair, I love a rower. Not 3 lots of 500 meters. So the workout, I mean, I'm not reading it. I just watched it a few times, but I've
got it for you if you want.
You go. Well, see if I've got it. See if I've got it down. So CSIC, the RX category is in the majority. There's an older masters, which is 15-minute workout, but this one's actually a 9-minute workout. So it's in a 9-minute window. Every 3 minutes, you must complete a 500-meter row. Yeah, and you can't. Well, I suppose you could. You can start before the second 3 minutes. Why you'd want to, I have no idea. But there are 3. That was in the judge's brief. That's not on the. But I guess you're self-penalising at that point.
Yeah. It doesn't help you because it takes your total split time, doesn't it? So like you're just giving yourself less rest.
Yeah, absolutely. So the score for the workout are the 3 times that you've got added together. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I've done a sub 130 500 meters one time. I couldn't do it 3 times in a row.
Yeah. And if you did it, on that first time, what would your third row be like?
Oh my gosh. I'm not even sure I'd be able to get on the rower the third time. Yeah. But unfortunately, I'm one of the, Craig put out a call for some online judging. I was cautious, didn't want to end up on a Hiller video. Because we all know that ends, don't we, Jace?
Pretty well, actually. Yeah. To be honest.
To be fair, not bad.
It depends, I guess, on what side of the coin you're on when you put out a video about you. Because I know I'm not the only one. Our good friend Tyler, and I know like Mike Halpin and different ones have benefited greatly from being highlighted by Hiller, but generally because they're doing hard work, good work, doing things to help promote the CrossFit community, to make things better.
No press is bad press.
If you do a no rep, then boy, are you gonna know.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All press is good press. Let's go with that. But anyway, back to the teens and masters. There's some filthy workouts in there, which are brilliant, to be honest. I think it's difficult because you want to program arguably it's a pretty for especially for I was judging Connor Kemp in his workouts, and the weights are heavy for a 16-year-old boy. Like clusters with 222.5 dumbbells for a 16-year-old lad who weighs 70 kilos is not fun.
Hey, it means he weighs more than me, so he should. I can't have him complain too much.
Yeah. To be honest, I was gutted. So this afternoon, he redid one of his workouts, and there was a part, and I no repped him, which essentially
end up on a hill of video. So well done.
No, you're right. I won't. No, you won't. And he understood why. So the reason was the workout. I think it's Fusion is workout 2, and that is it's a set of double unders and then a complex, and then a set of double unders and a complex, and the same complex heavier, and then a set of double unders, the same complex heavier again. Now, the first one is 50 double unders and a 42.5 kilos. 42.5 kilos. Then it's 60 double unders and 60 kilos, which I thought that's a pretty nasty jump. And then the last one is 70 double unders and 70 kilo bar. And the complex is 3 hang power snatch, 2 overhead squats, and 1 snatch. And you can't rest the bar anywhere in between. And 75 kilos is his 1 rep max. So like doing a complex at 70 when your 1 RM is 75 is pretty savage. And he got 2 hang powers. And the third one was, I'd say, half an inch under parallel. There was a piece of me thinking, I'm not sure anyone's going to review this video, because if I've judged it in person, I'm not sure anyone will review the video. But my integrity as a judge, if I let him do that, is gone. Do you know what I mean? And so I felt, as much as I felt unbelievably hard, and there were only 3 of us in the room, so it's not like anyone else was watching. And to be honest, you probably couldn't have even seen it at the angle that the thing was at anyway. But I couldn't let it go. Like, and that seems really harsh. Like, and I felt really harsh. The boy's 16, but the boy is 16 years old. Like, you know, and that. All I wanted to do was see him hit that workout and hit it. But as our good friend Ed says, I think it's Boz as well. Our good friend Boz says, the standard is the standard.
Well, what's funny is, I mean,
and he didn't mind. He didn't mind either. He knew. He
shouldn't mind, because he doesn't want, he doesn't want the charity, right? Like, that's the point. And actually, that was, I've been putting out all these videos for the adaptive division, and like one of the things I heard back from some of the adaptive athletes was like, why are they not being stricter with some of these video submissions?
At
least his mum agrees with you.
Yeah, that's it. So I assume that's not Connor. That's Claire, his mum, because who was also there. But Claire, you saw it. It was borderline. If it was Catra David's daughter doing kettlebell deadlifts at a CrossFit semi-final and the crowd was screaming at me,
then you definitely would have kept the same standard and the same.
Absolutely right. That's why I found a different calling for for me in the CrossFit scene, in the functional fitness scene, and I do miss being on the floor and the sort of the jeopardy of getting it wrong. There's some.
Well, tell you what, there's more jeopardy now than ever before.
because there's not though.
Well, I mean,
not according to Boz.
Yeah, that's true. Yes.
Good reps look like good reps from close up and from far away.
On video, etc.
If in doubt, it's a no rep.
Yeah. Claire, do you want a link? Do you want to come on?
You come on if you want.
Let me know in the comments. Just say yes, and I'll shoot you a link. She's like, I haven't done my hair.
I'm not. To be honest, I'm not. Claire, I hope you don't mind me saying this. Claire's a little bit of a technophobe. I'm not sure Claire I don't even know what. Maybe she's probably sitting there with Neil and Connor now, on the chair with the dog next to her, living the dream.
Wow. Living the dream. There we go.
Living the dream.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my experience of
I'm hoping
certainly judging Connor. I'm in my pajamas, says Claire. I mean, so am I. I always sleep in my plate stack chat t-shirt. Available for purchase, I might add. We'll put a link. Could you put a link in the description to those, Jace? Go on.
A link to where? A link to Tom?
I don't know. We must have got it from somewhere. I think Tom bought it for me, didn't
he? Tom is, he's our man on the merch.
Yeah. We'll get Tom to post it. We'll get Tom to post it in the description.
Yes. Okay. Third workout was Clusterella.
Love it.
Which is chest to bar pull-ups, 25 dumbbell clusters, 20 box jump overs, and 15 handstand push-ups. A 12-minute AMRAP of that, though.
Horrible, I'd say.
Yeah, and I mean the thing that you always then have to keep in your mind when you're reading that workout is, we'll read a workout like that and you'll be like, wow, I mean, look what we just witnessed last weekend and saw what they took on, and it's like, yeah, now we're thinking about the teens and the masters, and we're forcing them to do these workouts. And I say we're forcing them. I'm not forcing anyone. I did go down to CrossFit Bath. Have had an enormous number of people go through the qualifiers for some unknown reason. So I did pop down on Friday to support a few of them for a little bit.
No idea why the score sheet had 4 rounds on there. I don't know. I think one of our head judges is watching. I think one of our head judges is watching, so maybe they'll slam a comment in the thing. I'm actually being berated in my Instagram chats for giving away judge secrets. But yeah, you have to be if you want to be, if you want to know the secrets, you got to go out and volunteer as a judge.
Yeah, or make a nice video about the judges. Defend the judges, get all the judges on your side, and then they start welcoming you with open arms, and they invite you into groups that usually are groups just for people that judge. And they're like, oh, one of us. I'm like, oh, thank you guys.
Are you in Team Judgment page now?
I'm not on the Facebook page.
All right.
No. I don't want anything where I actually have to engage.
the real stuff with real people.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, but I think beyond talking about the qualifiers themselves, I think it was really nice to see how many kind of people were posting their workouts and the qualifiers that they were doing, and it's always nice when you see either people from, there were people like I've seen at SID or seen at other competitions or seen last year, quite a number that I saw last year at the Teen and Masters Championships that were posting up. Oh no, Craig! Leave it. Craig's own, yeah. Craig is recommending me for head judge. Well, let's see.
Is that for the games or?
Well, do you know what it is? I don't know if you've seen my most recent story that I just posted, Sam. But
I haven't recently. Sorry, I've not been on Instagram. I've actually been. That sounds really aloof. I've actually been doing work today because I don't normally do much work. So today's one of those very rare days.
Well, I've posted something and I've just circled a few things on there, and I've just put the note is I'm just reposting this so that Craig will finally respect me. And it's worked. Do
you know how? Could you imagine how pissed off Hiller would be if you got given the head judge role?
And I'm just walking around there telling everyone, "Don't worry, guys, it's okay.
Don't worry, you're fine. It's fine.
We'll look after you."
The standard was the standard.
I'm not going to shout at you.
Craig's put "we'll see" in the comments. I assume that's about his respect for you, not games head judge.
No. I mean, surely I'll be media at the games, right? I
don't know. Maybe we'll talk about why you might be after. But yeah, Where are we? We're talking
We
about teams
got
and masters.
sidetracked by Craig.
We did
shooting
get
messages in
sidetracked.
there. But basically, what I was saying was how great it is to see so many people getting behind this one. I think, and last year I did a whole series of videos with Emma and Mandy about the British teen and Master Championships and sort of their motive for doing it and why they started in the first place. And it is because of that representation, and it's sort of lacking quite often. And I mean, we see that even at the games, right? You've got teens and you've got masters at the games, and compared to obviously the elite individuals, they're kind of ignored, right? Not as much as the adaptive division we've learned, but still.
I'm laughing because it's not funny.
Yeah,
it's actually not funny.
No, and so I think it's really nice for them. It's like Ben was chipping in the comments a few weeks ago when he was doing really well in the quarterfinals, right? But the cutoff to the next, they don't have a semi-final, so it's all online. It's all, I mean, they have a semi-final, but it's online. It's all online. It's all online, and then it's only the very best of the best of the best in the world that get to go to the games. So it takes ones like Emma and Mandy to put something on that bridges the gap and lets them get some experience on the competition floor. So, because I worry without that, you'll get to this point where you'll have these athletes that are obviously incredible because they've been training from a young age, and they're really good, and then they age up into kind of the elite individual categories, and they go to a comp and they've just not got competition experience. They're really great. They're amazing on an online event, but they don't get to do enough in-person comps. So this is such a great way to ease them in. Obviously, what they've done is they've kind of pulled in both directions a little bit the categories. So the teens is a bit older than you would get. It goes up to an age that's older than you'd get at the games, and the masters starts at 30 instead of 35, because again, they're really competitive age groups, and it can be quite jarring jump from, well, on the one side, from the teens one, to jump from kind of being a teen to going against fully grown men that have been doing it for years as well, can be quite jarring. So it's nice for them to have this middle ground one where it's kind of you're going against other guys that are in that same category. You're seeing how you stack up against them, and then you can go and school all these people that thought they were really good at CrossFit but didn't realize how good all the young ones are.
Yeah. So I'm just doing some maths because dear. I know quick maths. So what was that? 21, 46, 55. That's not bad. Right. So I've just worked out. So if you, and I genuinely think this might be an idea for the the CrossFit semi-final events. So they could add how many? Actually, it would add quite a bit. I was thinking, actually, that wouldn't add that much, but it would if you put on another. How many teams divisions are there for the games? 3.
Great. How many teams?
There must be 13 to 14, 15 to 16, 17 to 18, surely. And then 18 plus you're in the games, right? So say there's three teams, and then how many masters? Probably the same again.
35 to 40, 45, 50. Because at what age does it just cut off? There's a certain age where it just stops going up in 5s, and it's just here,
everybody else
and beyond.
Yeah, I think isn't it 55 plus?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
there are 2. Okay, so there are two teens categories.
Yeah, I think you did just a year.
13 to 15 and 16 and 17 probably is what it is. 14, 15, 16, 17. Yeah, cool. Thanks, Claire. I'll just put that up so people actually know what we're talking about. We do, guys, we do actually look in the comments. We do sort of go through the comments as it's going. But I was just working out. So if we
share the workload.
I'm just, it is. But if you had a semi-final 14s, you could have there could have been that on another competition floor somewhere or alongside, because that's what they were talking about. That's what we were all 65 plus for the masters. Claire saying is the catch-all after that. Sorry, this was kind of an aside topic, so that's why I haven't done much research into it. 7 Masters categories for the game, says Craig. But what I was thinking was, if you had four workouts over a weekend as the semi-final for the non sort of mainstream elite categories, so for the teens and the Masters, the workouts, roughly, you're going to have say we had a 9-minute workout, a 25-minute workout, a 15-minute workout, and maybe, I don't know, a 6-minute sprint or something. So you've got your sprint or your max lift, which is going to be sort of a 6-minute workout. You get a 25-minute workout, which is sort of your endurance piece, and then you've got maybe a 15-minute chipper and some sort of 9-minute, I don't know, couplet or triplet or something like that, which would bring you in at 55 minutes. Right. So if you added those, you're looking at 1, 2, 3 lots of 5 minutes. So that's 1 hour and 10 per category, or per workout, per set of workouts. So say you had one heat of, well, how many go to the games? There's probably 20 in each. Maybe 10 in each. So if you had, say you had 10, I'm spitballing. Yeah, I'm spitballing now. So say you had 10 athletes who were competing, you could have one heat of 10.
Yeah.
And that would be their competition. So you'd have 1 hour and 10 minutes of, an hour and 10 minutes of the 13 to 14s, 14 to 15s, 1 hour and 10 minutes of the 16 to 17. So that's essentially, you're adding 2 hours onto your competition if they were on one of the floors. You know, you could start earlier in the morning on one of the floors, because I know that the floor Arena 2 didn't start until 11, I think, on the Sunday. So you could have had a whole bunch of events before. And you could have, I mean, I'm not suggesting Megan and Ollie do more with that, but
the problem though,
it kind of gives you a semi-solution, because the British Teens and Masters is a great competition, and I looked at a lot of it.
Top 10 for age groups go to the games.
Yeah, so if you had a semi-final in each region, and then the top 2. Even the top 1, first place goes.
So, Schwartz, you what asks, at what value?
I imagine that's coach.
Sponsors at bottom line, especially when they already have an online process in place. What categories bring in revenue? I agree. I mean, and that's why you need things like the British Masters Championships to give them that experience, so that then when they hit the elite field, that's why I think. And we had this conversation with Cutters on the Masters. It was the same thing, right? It was like, we'd love, and the difference on that side is that the Masters have more money to travel, to spend on stuff, to kind of support themselves than teens generally. But I mean, it all makes sense. It is just at the moment, it is what it is, isn't it? And in fact, I mean, that even goes back to like the press conference where they were talking about how to keep semi-finals sustainable. And it was like, oh, well, what Strength in Depth did was really good. They ran a second competition to pay for your competition. Yeah, like that's great, but that's not a solution, is it? That's not CrossFit bringing in the money. And we see kind of, I think if we then, instead of having that Masters competition, or if that Masters competition had been, instead of a Masters and Community Cup, had been Masters and Teens, and that also got people their ticket to the games, that would have meant they wouldn't have had that space to run a community competition. So that revenue stream would have wouldn't have brought in more revenue. They would have lost a revenue stream that they were relying on.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the difficulty, and that's the sort of way up, isn't it? You don't want to be. I would love to see teams throwing down at Strength in Depth. It would be amazing, and trying to book their ticket to the games from that. It would be amazing if we could make more of it, or run something completely separate. I don't know.
Grassroots and platforms in any growing sport is essential. BTMC is a great foundation.
British Teens and Masters Championships, I assume, is BTMC.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, mate. always ask
Could be
questions.
anything.
Don't
Could be anything.
don't be. I was watching a Simon Sinek video, and he said, "Don't be afraid to be the dumbest person in the room, because if someone can't, this is a bit of an aside, but if someone can't express their opinion to you, then their opinion is not worth anything."
What I like is you're telling me I should ask questions. I like to feel that
Who even are you? Like,
I like to feel that asking questions is my new thing.
no, apparently. Yeah, but I agree. I agree, Claire, that grassroots are essential. You wouldn't have professional footballers if they didn't have Sunday, kids 5-a-side, 7-a-side teams when they're like 5 years old.
Yeah.
Wouldn't happen.
And just with the nature of how CrossFit works as a sport, it's not as easy as simply, because it's, with like football, you can just kind of go and you've got like, oh, just have a kickabout in the street with my friends. I'll have like Sunday league football, and then you progress up to going up all the way up to kind of professional. Whereas with the nature of CrossFit, we kind of already, it's not that we compete, but we do work. You do the same workouts. If you're going to a class with your friends and you're doing the same workout regularly, you're kind of going maybe head to head on workouts. So you do need something a bit more structured with that competition thing to be like, oh, and this is the actual kind of more your Sunday league-esque thing where, yeah, it's not the big show, but it's got that structure to it. It's more like, and it's not something that we've programmed ourselves or that, our coaches programmed for us, kind of knowing our strengths and weaknesses. This is, we've gone in there, we're going against other people that we don't know. We're all kind of, meeting the same challenges head on, and we're seeing how well we do. But I imagine it must give you like a tremendous sense of accomplishment, more so than maybe like just other kind of sports, because just with how tough CrossFit is, like going and seeing maybe a workout that can be intimidating on paper, and like just getting through that or hitting a new PB or getting a time you didn't imagine, like that's got to be powerful, particularly when you're still kind of maturing into the person that you're going to become for the rest of your lives. Like it's a good time to go through that, right?
I'd say so. Having been a child that went through the grassroots into the sort of trying to get into professional and sort of nearly making it, I feel like CrossFit is less brutal than team sport. Not because
yeah, no,
because there's so much support. There are. It's, for example, take rugby. Rugby was, or football. When I was 10 years old, I was in the West Ham Academy. I thought that I was going to be the bee's knees. I was going to be, do you know what I mean? I was going to be the next Julian Dix. Showing my age there very much, but that's who I wanted to be. I wanted to be the centre back and just knock everyone out. But then I realised that's never going to happen. And at the age of 11, I was just dropped from the team.
Right.
Done. I was literally done. That was it. We don't want you in. Not that we don't want you, but it's like you're not good enough for the team anymore. You're out. It's like, wow. So then I was like, fine, football's not for me. I'm bigger than everyone else. I'm going to go play rugby. So then I played rugby, and I went. I joined rugby. I wasn't very good to start, but I was bigger, so that kind of gave me a help up. Essex, Eastern Counties, England, under 18s, and then you're not good enough. Where do you go from there? I either try and, if England don't think you're good enough, I either go away to another club, work really hard, and try for the rest of my life to get back into the England squad, maybe making some money. We're talking, this is when there was zero money really in rugby at all. Like England had just won the World Cup. So like there was a bit more money in it then, but still not a lot. But I guess what I'm saying is in CrossFit, like you could go and go and go and go and go. There's not a particular time where someone turns to you and goes, "You're not good enough."
Well, I mean,
necessarily, or I don't perceive that anyway.
Well, I would say not yet, but that's potentially coming, isn't it? I mean, I don't know. I was going to say something, but actually, Claire's put up an interesting comment. we have so many teens that hated sport PE, couldn't find a sport. They've made CrossFit their sport, and the methodology and rolled it into one. Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with that. My story in life would be almost the polar opposite to yours, Sam. I was did not care about any sport kind of growing up. Just my brother played every sport on the planet. I could not care less, and never really enjoyed any of them. Played them a little bit for exercise, if anything else, and then it wasn't until like CrossFit was the. In fact, it's interesting now that we're much older, and sort of my brother obviously doesn't get to play sport all day at school and things, so he's become much more inactive compared to me, and I'm, obviously like in the box 4 or 5 times a week, and doing podcasts talking about it, and going off to events and things, not to compete. Always got to underline that point there. So it has been interesting, but I think we often say this to all of us, don't we? Like, oh, if only we'd had CrossFit when we were growing up, like how great that would have been.
Here he is, the one and only Kian Dunphy.
I was a kid who hated sport as a kid. Now this is pretty much all I do. Yeah, it's true.
I can vouch. It's pretty much all he does. Kian's basically, you've pretty much made this your full-time job, haven't you, mate? Like, Kian, like, fair enough and fair play. If I had the time he has, I'd be training 5 hours a day as well. Like, eating for performance, fueling your body, resting for performance, like all of the stuff, Kian, I'm really looking forward to. I'm going to make some assumptions here. I feel like we might see Kian at the finals of the British Teens and Masters. That may be an assumption, but I can't wait.
Yeah, I've spoken to some other people that have called their shot. I've sort of seen them, like, I've responded to their stories where they've been putting up the things, and I've been like, oh, I'm gonna see you in Southampton. Like, yeah, no doubt, definitely. I'm like, nice. I like the confidence.
So Kian, how old are you? 20, 19? I think he's 19, maybe 20. Kian did. In fact, I don't think he'll even mind, because no one's going to be redoing it in the next hour and 15 minutes, I'm sure. Maybe no, I won't. I'll let the leaderboard sit. I'll let it sit. I'll let it sit. But let's just put it out there. He's snatching more than I'm cleaning. Okay. Let's just put it that way. And not a small amount more than I'm cleaning. So yeah, I can't believe it, mate.
Oh, Claire said that he's 19. I'm expecting a massive influx of people now to come and listen about the Teens and Masters, because Emma Dean's just shared that we're live at the moment on PlateSec Chat. So we'll see if her celebrity status pulls anyone over.
Oh, mate, she's full-time celeb. Celeb.
Anyway,
getting back to
that's great. What I did do, and I don't know if, I mean, this isn't fully confirmed, but I did send it to Emma, and she appeared to like it a lot, is that I went on Friday, I sort of set up a little kind of trial of how you could live stream the event, basically. So I set it up that there was like one fixed camera on the field where you would see everyone, and then I had 2 cameras roving around that could go and sort of highlight an athlete, and then I could make one bigger and one smaller. I could focus on one thing on the other. Little sort of like 40-second clip. Made that, sent it off to her just to be like, this is my plan for Southampton. So let's see. So if we can sort that, could be that we could get more eyeballs on the
well, you sent that to our group chat. I've seen it. I'm keen. I don't know if Em's. I don't know if I've even met Ems. I must have met her at Origins, or no, yeah, Origins. She was on in Bath.
She was on the
Bath team. Oh, then I will certainly have seen you at Origins. Hi, Ems. But mate, I'm keen. I'm keen to be involved in some sort of. I don't know. It could be like the broadcast thing. Broadcast team. There we go, Claire. Thanks.
I kind of. I mean, I don't want to say anything because we haven't confirmed all of this stuff really, but
no.
The impression I'm getting is that I am allowed to sort of assemble a mini team to help, because I need at least we need at least 4 people to run it, like minimum, and that's without taking any breaks. So, yeah, let's see what we can do. But I just think I did it last year, very last minute. I didn't have the intention to do it, and did it over Instagram. I hadn't planned to do it, but it just kind of happened organically. And the feedback we were getting each night, because particularly last year when travel restrictions were still kind of quite a big thing, and we had, there were people there from Ireland and Malta and different places, and they were sending, like, we're getting messages from people's parents and relatives saying like how they really appreciated that they were able to follow the competition and watch what was going on. So, but because it was done so last minute and just sort of the absolute most base thing I could possibly do, I left that with the idea of like, okay, next year I want to see if we could do better. And yeah, so that's.
Well, Claire's just put it on the internet for the whole world to say that she is signing up for your media team.
For my broadcast team.
Broadcast team.
I should warn you. I've heard that maybe the t-shirts are yellow again. So I did complain. I don't know if I get them changed.
I'm not good. I do not look good in yellow. I just look like Homer Simpson with no top on.
When I say yellow, I mean
yellow,
bright, shining. She's like, yeah, they're easy to be seen, and I'm thinking, yeah, Sid. Like, we've literally just gone to Sid, where if you had anything to do near or in front of the camera, you had to wear black because they don't want you to be seen. And you're like, here, wear the brightest color you can find.
Oh, mate, yeah, but it's not. It's good. It's good.
Anyway,
it's good.
Good. I'm looking for that. I'm always supporting this thing. I'm a big fan. It's also like, it was the first competition I got to work at, to be involved in, behind the scenes, all of that. So it's Sam, this is a reference for you. It's my Renegade Games.
There you go. It's the one. It's your OG. You're an OG.
Yeah. So Class of her complexion.
If you, yeah, I'm not commenting on any female's appearance, let alone someone I'm going to see get a slap from in the gym who's like a 5th dan in karate or something. She's like a black belt in no can do.
Right,
oh right. Well, I'm going to get a slap for that. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Well, should we move on? Should we move on to the news, the real news?
What news have you got?
The news. One of my friends had his post shared by Dave Castro today, which is pretty big news in my world. I'm going to try and find it because I don't know if I've got it here. Let me just. You just fill for time.
Yeah. So I was. It's funny. I've been recording a video all afternoon. When this ends, I'm going to post up a video. It's going up very shortly. It'll be interesting. I'm quite proud of it, but it will probably not do very well, which is what usually happens whenever I actually work hard on something. But this morning I posted a video, and it's sort of, it's doing all right. It's not doing too. I mean, I'll be honest. All my YouTube stuff is doing far better than I could ever have imagined when I started doing it. And then just like at a certain point, I mean, I posted up a reel about this thing as well. And then, throughout the day, yes, a few likes, a few messages, things like that. Then at a certain point, it just started suddenly getting likes on this post, and I don't know why. And then I started getting followers, and I was like, I don't know what's happened here. And then our good friend Ed sent me a message, and I was like, he said, "Oh,"
and then this happened.
Yeah, then Dave
Castro, hello.
Dave Castro is back to save the CrossFit Games. You're really missing the bigger picture. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be speaking about. Yeah, you can get rid of that now because I can't. Yeah. I've watched it enough. I'll be honest with you.
Wow, mate, I honestly can't believe that happened to you today. That's like big. That's a big deal. You've made it. Hashtag the real media. This has got to be Coach Shorts in the game here. If it's not, we need to do some sort of IP theft thing going on. How dare anyone have the Shorts name in there? The Shorts, if it is you, I assume it's you, then give us a wave. Honestly, how did that even happen?
How did it happen? In what sense? How did it happen?
Well, did he just go in and find your video?
Well, no. I mean, I posted it. I think I tagged him in it actually. I tagged him in the description.
It is Shorts. There we go.
Yeah.
Sup, dude?
I tagged him in the description because I referenced. So in the description I put out about the video, I just mentioned that this is from like the information I'm presenting is from Morning Chalk Up, the Real Savant podcast, and the Dave Castro, because and actually in that video that you played, like it cuts away because that was just a story, so it's the first 15 seconds, but that real clip actually shows like me referencing the free sources of material, one of them being Dave's Week in Review. And basically, if you don't want to go and watch it, please go and watch it. If you don't want to go and watch it, just go and subscribe, and then I don't care what you do after that.
He's trying to monetize this bad boy, I think, is what's going on here.
Oh, do you know what it's like? I'll tell you what it's like, Sam. I never cared about hitting like 100 kilo clean, because for me, that was like so out of the realm of anything I was thinking I'd be able to do in CrossFit that I'd never really thought about. I had no numbers in mind. It wasn't like I didn't think about hitting 100. I didn't think about hitting anything. I thought like, what am I going to hit today? Let's see what's on the bar kind of thing. Then once I hit 95 kilos, suddenly you're like, oh, 100
we're in the
impossible,
realms,
right?
Yeah, we're punching now.
Yeah,
we're punching now.
And I mean, you need 1,000 subscribers to monetize, and I'm sneaking up on 500 now. Like I'm halfway there. I'm almost halfway there.
Have you hit your listening hours as well? Concurrent listening hours?
Yeah, I would hit that. Like,
yeah, of course.
Yeah. So
you just need 1,000 subscribers, is what you need.
1,000 subscribers. So guys, if you can go out and get the mob riled up, get them to subscribe. I mean, I don't care if they watch. I just need them to subscribe. Yeah. Anyway, that's I can't even remember where we went to on that, but you were asking how it happened, so that's how it happened.
Yeah, I was asking how it happened. That was how it happened. Yeah, mate, big things happening for you at the moment. Big things. We speaking of big things happening.
Yeah, go.
So we're speaking of. Sorry, I had a fly. I don't want a lady who swallowed a fly. That's a different story. We were talking before the podcast about news going on at the moment, and PEDS, performance enhancing drugs, have popped back into the scene again. I say popped back in. You see what I did there? You like that? With the Clydesdale media guys, with their interview with Jay Lond.
Yeah.
Who that was tricky, right? Because I really like those guys, and I understand why they were. I felt, and I hope that they don't mind. I felt that the interview was quite vanilla, and I say that, and I think because they don't want to just burn this guy live on YouTube. Because there could have been a whole bunch of other stuff that they could have said and they could have probed into, and I get that they probably worked hard and they probably had a pre-conversation about what they were going to ask. Yeah, sorry, jumping in there. This is get them to watch on mute. But yeah, so the Clydesdale Media guys, this is not me pounding them at all, because ordinarily I think their content is great, but I think that they didn't want to. Maybe they didn't want to burn this guy live on YouTube.
Yeah. See. Interesting. I mean, I've spoken with them a fair bit recently, with Scott and with Kat in particular. And I've, as I've mentioned, I've been making a video this afternoon. Another fun bit of news, everybody, if you're listening, if you care at all. So Harvey was not feeling well, and we realized yesterday that he had COVID. So today I feel absolutely fine, but I tested positive for COVID. So I was like, well, I can't go anywhere. I cancelled I thought I could go to the gym and see if I can give it to Craig, but I won't. So I stayed home and decided to make a video. And the video is based basically on this Clydesdale interview. And you're saying you don't want to upset them, you don't want to offend them or anything.
It's not. I'm not against upsetting people at all.
No, I know what you mean, but like
I upset people on a regular.
I appreciate what they've done. I think it was, like, I don't know, not braver, not brave. That's not necessarily the right word. But so I've just had a message feedbacking on what I've recorded. Anyway, focus on one thing. You're here now. Focusing on you. Right. Skip to the end. Okay. The end of the interview, they say, and tomorrow we've got the rest of your team on, and that seems odd, right? That's
what I thought.
Strange.
It automatically put them and us sort of spin
because
on it.
They want to give their side of the story. And I'm like, well, what's their side of the story? If that's their side of the story is we saw him shooting up in the bathroom, like, I don't know what. Like, what are they adding?
Let's just quickly. I mean, I'll tell you what. I'll drop a link when we're finished. I'll drop a link in the comments, just so you don't all leave now. I'll go watch it. But it wasn't that he was shooting up in any way, shape, or form. It seems, anyhow, from what. He was taking supplements. He got popped shorts. He got popped for Jason. You'll know exactly what it is. It's like GW
1516.
There you go.
Also known as Endurable, which you may have heard of if you've ever heard of Ricky Garrard.
As a good friend of the show, Hunter McIntyre said, if you don't know what's in it, don't take it. If it's called Pop Master Smash Your Biceps 5000, probably don't take it, right? It's not, and this is where it's a little different for me than Ricky Garrard, right? Because Ricky Garrard was 22, just starting out, just sort of starting training, and someone says, hey, take this and you'll probably do better. So as a 22-year-old, like, yeah, I want to do better. Let's go take that. This guy's like 30. He's been in the military for however many years. He's not stupid.
I mean,
you should know that stuff.
I've got so many thoughts, and I honestly, I don't want to say them
because you want people to watch your video.
And I know that sounds terrible, but
I'll just give all my thoughts then, because I'm really happy with this. The geezer's obviously guilty because he's popped. You don't pop if you haven't taken something, and if what you've taken is illegal, then unlucky you.
It's define guilty, because my point, and I'll give you this because basically as I said, I cut in and out the interview, not all of the interview because it was a long interview, but I just cut in and out a couple of points from the interview where I'm like, well, he says this and he says this, but because he said that, it has raised a lot more questions, like so many more questions and there's one question that it raises in particular that for me is a really kind of damning question for him, and it never gets picked up on. And I think that's a problem, because I think you need an answer to that question, because that's a big issue. But I do say, ultimately, knowingly or unknowingly, it doesn't matter. It was in his system at the time. He had an unfair advantage over the other people. And therefore, all that can happen now is two things. He can contest it and get it knocked down from 4 years to 2 years. And he can manage his perception in the court of public opinion. And this interview has not helped him with that second point.
It's obvious he's not media trained, and he probably hasn't got anyone looking after his PR. That was my first thought.
This is my problem. This is what I think this is my issue, and this is why I've made the video. And it's not, and I don't go as far as to say that, but I hope that it's like it's clear from the video that you've got people that are being put into position. Because I actually think I start the video by asking, like, my question, like one of the biggest questions I have is, who told you to do this? And I've got more questions for that person, because, like, who told you to do this? What did they tell you to say? Did they give you any advice before going in? Because you've basically gone in and kind of shot yourself in the foot with sort of some of the statements that you've made. And then later you say other statements that directly contradict statements that were made earlier. And that's where I feel, you know, and that's like unfair, because, as you said, he's not been trained and prepared. He doesn't appear that he's got somebody looking out for him, advising him what to say, what not to say, how, you know, omission can be just as bad as saying the wrong thing. Not saying something can also hurt. Like,
well, and the whole thing is, Ricky Garrard obviously came out and was like, I didn't take anything for like 4 years. Easy, Matt. Oh, mate, what a lad tuning in. Thank you for tuning in, Matt. We're just currently talking over the am I allowed to? I'm not even going to say the shiitake mushroom show. That is this interview with Jay Long.
Hold on. I wasn't that harsh. I was not that harsh about it.
No, I don't mean the sorry, that I've already said that I don't think the interview. I think it was vanilla. I don't think it was bad. I just think it was quite vanilla. But the reason that I think it was that sort of show is because the poor guy clearly hasn't been media trained. Ricky Garrard but for 4 years was saying, I didn't do drugs. I didn't do drugs. I didn't take anything. I didn't know I was taking anything. I didn't take anything. I didn't know I was taking, which is the best thing to do. It's like when you crash your car. So you crash into someone else. Well, it wasn't my fault. But how is that my fault? Slightly different, but how is that my fault? You never admit that you've done something wrong. You never admit it's your fault, right? But then Ricky Garrard turns around right at the end. It causes a big storm, and it goes, actually, I did know. Sorry, guys, I lied. And now he's back in everyone's good graces again. This poor guy is probably going to be hung out to dry because he said, yeah, I took this thing. My buddy, you know, he's got to straight away, where what took Ricky Garrard 4 years to do. And I imagine this guy's going to be hung out way more than. Yeah. But it's difficult, isn't it?
I've just posted in the comments the link to the video that I made. So people do. If people want to see it later, it's there, because I said already 9 o'clock. We'll be wrapping up soon. You can go and have a look if you want. Really, what I think about it. And I'm sorry, I don't want to do that, but it's all about the grind now, apparently, guys.
No, mate, I'm happy for you to forward your media career on our podcast. We never let Tom do it, but you.
What I like is we're 53 minutes in. We've not mentioned Tom.
No.
Sorry, guys. No. Tom's not here today, in case you hadn't noticed. If you're only listening to this, he's not just being unusually quiet. He's always quite quiet, but this is, you know, he's actually not here. He's being a dad, as always. We're also dads, but we're cool dads.
Arguably, just care a little less, or a vet seasoned.
Well, I don't know about you. My kids are both asleep.
Mine were both asleep by 7:10.
There we go. So
there we go.
Like it's hard to get a newborn to go to sleep.
Yeah. Yeah, but we've changed to Monday, so you know, that was in the hope that we'd all be able to sort of make it. Tom's not been able to this week. He was on for a bit last week, but that's sort of how this is going to run from now.
I think the reality of it is, if we'd kept it to Wednesdays, sometimes Tom might have been there. Sam will probably always be there, and I would probably very rarely be there. Yeah. On Mondays, at least the two of us are pretty much guaranteed to be here, and Tom can and cannot be in here. And also, what we have seen, as revealed in the comments, is that Craig McKerrigan is also free on a Monday night, so we might finally get him on the podcast.
True that,
because he's never free on a Wednesday. So send your questions in.
Rumor has it he's never coming on the podcast because he doesn't like you.
Yeah, I know.
Those words actually came out of his mouth. Yeah, at least he's in the comments. We'll go with that.
Yeah. Yeah, but he knows me and TDC are good friends now, so
Yeah. TDC, is that what we're calling him now?
yeah.
Mate, is there any popular CrossFit person
I call him TCM at the gym now.
Oh, the Craig McCarrigan.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Here's one for you. Is there anyone that you're still waiting to share your posts now? Is there anyone like you'd be like, oh, that's it? Craig's free on Wednesdays now, apparently.
Of course you are. Now that I'm not.
Yeah.
He's looking at my schedule and he's going to Ollie and be like, "Can you swap my days around according to your schedule?" Is there anyone I would like? Yeah, loads of people, surely.
Well, you've had the big ones. You've had Savan. You've had the Morning Chalk Up. You've had Tommy Marquez specifically. You've had Clydesdale guys. You've had now Dave Castro. Who are you waiting for?
Well, I mean, Dave Castro is arguably by far and away the biggest of that list.
Arguably.
What?
Arguably. There's no arguably about that.
No, I mean, yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's like, what? 750,000 followers compared to what Hiller's got, like 20, 30,000 maybe more than that. I don't know. I don't know. It would depend massively on the topic, wouldn't it? I'm not just randomly tagging people in for like the hopes of a share. It's got to be relevant. Like I've never tagged Dave Castro in anything before, but I made a video about him coming back to CrossFit.
I have actually tagged Dave Castro before, and he's actually liked and commented on one of my posts. And in fact, it was a comment. Oh, sorry, I missed that. He's waiting for you to reshare him back, your boy. Mate, I only share good media.
Oh wow. And I've seen your Instagram.
His little broken heart, Sam. Look at his little face. I'm circling my mouse, but you can't see it. Around his little face. Sorry, Jason. I want to break it. He doesn't care about me. I'm not big time. I'm not making any news.
You say you're not big time.
Spouting on social media about crud.
No, but there was a reel recent. Was it did you see like Jacqueline Dahlstrom's reel that went up from CrossFit, where it's sort of like, and it's your voice. It's you basically calling out who won the.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's a very short reel. It's like 4 seconds, maybe. It was posted by CrossFit Games, I think.
What?
You go on your thing. Go find it. And it's just so you can hear you calling the final.
Oh, that was the strength in depth one, wasn't it?
I'm sure I saw it on CrossFit.
What, CrossFit Games?
Yeah.
In a reel?
Oh, like I mean, she shared something, and it was like, showing my ignorance of how Instagram works now. It was sort of like, when it's like it's like a unified post by two people.
No. Mate, I literally haven't seen it. But that's cool. You can find it. That's fine. People don't want to wait for me to find some rubbish thing about my. Where is it?
Found it.
I want to show it on the. I want to show it on the screen because if I'm a big deal, I'm not shared by Dave. I'm not shared by Dave Castro every day. This doesn't happen to me, y'all.
Hold on.
I was having a lovely conversation with Drake and Chad today, though. That was cool.
You fill. Why?
I'll fill. Do you know what? I'm going to fill with something that I do a lot.
Oh dear, people are worried now.
Yeah, they should be worried. No, I do it a lot, but it really cheeses me off when people just spout what they think online. Our good friend, the Batman, spouting his stuff online, and other people just spouting all sorts of trash online. It really gets my goat, I even posted. I think maybe it was on your video, Jace, or maybe it was on Hiller's. Are we in? Oh,
why is it playing?
It doesn't look like it should.
It's that, but for some reason, when I click it here, it's this one. I don't know if you can open it on yours. It's that So it's on the CrossFit Games.
Oh gosh.
Go to the reel.
Yeah, I got it. It's very loud in my ears though. Yeah, spouting stuff they have absolutely no idea about. That's all really I have to share about that. And that's all I got to say about that. Make it bigger. Can we do that? Make it smaller. Craig Ritchie apparently called me a legend. Look at that.
I'm sure he's talking about you.
I assume he's talking about me. Let's go.
For a place at the Noble CrossFit Games in first place, Jacqueline Gaston!
I'll take it.
There you go. See.
At least I know I said her name right.
Yes. But you know, when I said that, and I said, "Oh, it was a reel that CrossFit Games shared," and it was you, and you were like, "No." Do you know? I almost thought I dreamt it. At that point, all somebody needs to do is tell me, "No, you're wrong," and I'm immediately like, "Oh, I guess I am. I'm gonna back myself more."
So in the realms of people sharing stuff that you've done, I mean, CrossFit Games, only 1.4 million followers. Take it back. I'm joking.
And I'm assuming they tagged you in that post of theirs.
Oh, obviously.
So somewhere they wrote
no idea. I'm still waiting for Rothy to get back to me about broadcast team.
Yeah.
Mate, that'd be the dream, wouldn't it? Could you imagine?
No, I couldn't even imagine.
Oh.
Well, you know, apparently I might be there as head judge, so that's
why not?
Interesting.
We there was another thing earlier. I was commenting on, maybe it was your video, and Hiller was in the comments, and I was like, I literally commented, how much money would it cost? Because he said, if I make X amount of money, I was like, how much money would it cost for you to get another hobby? He was like $140,000. I was like, that's a deal. I reckon I could get 140,000 people to put $1 into a pot just so it goes away.
Oh, but then you'd get like 200,000 people that would put in $1 to keep him.
Yeah, I'd happily take that money.
Then he'd walk away with no, like to him. They'd be like, "Oh, we'll give you the money to stay."
That's fine. Well, I'll just make a deal with him that I keep the pot all over again. I'll keep the smaller pot.
All right.
I wouldn't care. Shorts is chipping in. A swift tenner. Yeah, I feel like I know what your opinion would be, Shorts. Mate, we'll have to get you on at some point. He's a dude. He is a dude. I mean, he had to put up with Esteda's kids all weekend at Sid, so he must have the patience of a saint. But yeah, that's that.
Right. Good.
Should we call it there? I have a good news story, but it's me, so I'm not really going to go into that too much. I genuinely, I was going to share some. Yeah, he vetoed it. All right, fair enough.
Good news. I've just told you you've been featured on the CrossFit Games Instagram Reels, and you're like, "Oh, and let me share another good news story about myself." I think we've had enough good news stories about you for today.
I need to share that now. I was wondering what I'm going to post on socials recently, mate. I'm so grateful. I genuinely, I don't go on flipping. I don't really go on stuff. I don't really share stuff. But there we go. That's why I'll never be the real media, and Jason will be when he gets 1,000 subscribers. So everyone go subscribe to Jason. Everyone go subscribe to the PlayStation Chat channel below, because we love you all.
Yeah, we've got further to go in our journey to get
a little way,
1,000, but
a little way. But this is opinion bait, right? So the difference between Tom and Jason obviously do their thing, which is news. And the thing about news, or the thing about perceived news, is everybody thinks they've got news, but what they've actually got is their opinion on the news. Whereas, as Jason has had many comments about from myself and from various people, what he puts out is as unbiased news as that news is ever going to be.
Yeah, wow.
In my opinion.
I hope that the new video doesn't push people in the other direction, because well, let me know, actually, people, if you do watch it, if anybody watches it and you think, oh no, I think it's just me stopping and saying, well, this raises this question and this question, and I would want to know this. I don't think there's any bias there, and I think it's fair. But if you think that actually, I've missed the mark on this one and I've gone clickbaity opinionated, then by all means call me out on it. I'll accept that. I'll accept that. And I've come to terms with the fact that I will accept, I'll accept that and we'll move on with life. Won't necessarily take the video down. It took me a long time to make, but I will because I had to screen record portions of the interview, and I did that, and then I realized it hadn't recorded the sound, and I had to do it again.
Boo.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. As always, you can follow Sam on social media. He's probably going to be reposting a reel soon. He's at La Roche Original. You can follow me at Jason CF Media on Instagram and on YouTube. And you can
subscribe. Go subscribe.
Yeah. And I might ask you if you could kindly click the like button. I will never tell you to hit it. Don't worry. And then if you would like to
smash it. What about smashing it?
No.
Smash that like button. Come on, team. Smash that like.
Yeah.
If no one's ever told you today, you're all legends.
Yeah, I like to think I have a very different style.
My gosh. Oh my gosh.
But as I say, you can of course follow Tom. He's actually putting out, big up Chalking Fitness for a minute. He has been putting out like little recaps about events and stuff that happened at SID, because there were many stories and he only had the space and time to write a tiny caption for men, women and teams of one event kind of thing. So he couldn't give perhaps all the little stories, the little battles that were going on within the attention he would have liked. He's doing that over at Chalking Fitness. So if you want, to see some nice pictures and some interesting text that tells you a little more about the stories that were going on at Strength in Depth, head over to Chalking Fitness. And
he's also been doing that. If you check out the Strength in Depth posts, if you look at the bottom, most of them recently have been accredited to him.
Yeah.
Which is really good.
They're very limited.
Yeah, very limited. But yeah, he's making them much wider.
Getting to expand on what he really,
which is brilliant. Yeah.
Yes. So
go show him some love.
All of that. Anything we've forgotten? No. I'm assuming you've all already done your teens and masters sign-ups and that. If you're judging them, well done. If you're not judging them and you're a great judge and you're like, oh, why didn't anyone ask me to judge? I'm almost certain
if you haven't signed up for them yet, you have the next 41 minutes to do all the workouts, upload them to YouTube, and get them submitted.
Which I reckon is doable because it's 9 minutes, 12 minutes.
Yeah.
What's the other one?
9 minutes.
9, 12.
Yeah.
Oh, you've got loads of time.
Loads of time.
Make sure that as you finish one, you immediately upload it to YouTube because sometimes they can buffer a little bit. It can take a bit of time.
Get it done.
All right. Oh, I like to feel we've inspired people. Okay. Well, thank you everyone for listening. See you next week, hopefully.
Yo.
I'll let you close us out then.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. He's been Jason. I've been Sam. You've been awesome. Bye.